Well, maybe we should get to the then leader of the opposition, Christopher Luxon, and what he was thinking. These are things, we'll give credit where credit's due. This is thanks to Rugby Intel. It's a very good channel if you want to follow it on, or channel, Twitter feed. Have a listen.
Well, look, I don't understand.
So actually, this is about Michael Wood. This is actually exactly what you're saying. This is about Michael Wood.
Well, look, I don't understand. He found out last Friday. He should have suspended him immediately on the moment, based off what the facts were. And as soon as you start to have relative standards, not absolute.
So can't have relative. Labor can't have relative standards. You have to have absolute standards. Now, what that means is you can't make any excuses. So in other words, it doesn't matter if he's apologised. That's a relative standard because you've changed your outcome based on what he did. That's relative. But when it was Labor, no, relative standards aren't allowed. It has to be absolute standards.
As soon as you start to have relative standards, not absolute standards, that's a real problem for New Zealand. Here we are with the fifth scandal.
And for those who are listening now, we've got Tim van der Volen, ministers, Costello brushes off all the stuff he's had to deal with so far, and it goes on and on and on. McKee's in there, more Nicole McKee.
It's a laundry list
going wrong with his management of his team, and I don't understand why he's not got it gripped up.
So I'm not going to fade that down because that'll get us boosted off the internet. So yeah, I mean, there's another one I'm going to show you as well. I think it's actually from the same account. Yep. And this has been put together when he was leader of the opposition. But imagine that's him talking about Adam Bailey today.
This is a very simple decision. He needs to leave Parliament tonight and announce his departure from Parliament.
Yeah, I got that. But in terms of any other steps?
I think there's a lot of questions that you will no doubt start asking about what other issues have gone on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but we have standards here.
Yeah.
This is a senior minister. I think it's very simple. He needs to resign from Parliament tonight. It's incredibly serious. It's not something light. It's inexcusable. The last 3 weeks have been incredibly frustrating.
It's funny how angry he got when it was Labour.
He's really strident.
Very, very angry when it was a Labour senior minister. But when it's his guy, he said sorry. I believe him. He said sorry.
Frustrating because all we're dealing with is a government that's actually falling apart, focused on itself and internal issues and not focused on the New Zealand people. Every single week over the last 3 weeks we've been talking about personnel issues, and so we've got major internal issues here with this government that's focused on itself, not focused on the New Zealand people. So that's how I feel about it. Here we go again this week, and what we're seeing every week we're discussing these. Every week you ask me questions about what's going on with personnel. If you relatively accept
about Casey Costello, about Nicole McKee, about Andrew Bailey, every single week, Chewy, we're asking these questions.
This relative standard of actually, I'm sorry, we'll just let this slide for a bit. You've actually got to stand up for some absolutes. But the integrity of Parliament, the integrity of Cabinet Ministers matters a lot. Well, he's not.
I mean, I look at the face, right, and how angry he's putting across. So he's lying in one of the two places. He's either lying then because he wants it to be embarrassing to Labour, or he's lying now, and that ministers don't have to have that integrity. One of the times he's lying, right? Because back then, when he was the opposition leader, he was talking about how important it is for integrity for senior ministers, and now he's saying, yeah, but he said sorry. This has got 30 seconds. We'll just let it play through to the end.
Well, he's not managing his cabinet well. I mean, this is a tired government. It's out of touch. It's out of ideas. And frankly, the New Zealand people deserve better. And the choice just gets starker for them. Do you want a government that's focused on itself? Sorry?
Has National not had its own personnel issues?
And when they have, I've taken decisive action on those. That's what
I have taken decisive action. I just not in the future. Past tense is fine.
Believe in doing.
And mind you, Sam Uffindale, decisive action? I think not.
Thank you.
Not a word.
So yeah, we're not going to play the music. So there you go, Chewy. I think it's important, and like what we always try and do, and we're overt about it, is we will hold this government to the standard they held the last government to at the very least. And it sounds like, according to Mr. Luxon pre-election, the standard he wanted to hold Labour to was if a senior minister cocks up bad, they got to go. The integrity of the cabinet room is essential. It's not okay that we're talking about ministerial issues every single week. Hello, 2023, 2024 is calling in. Chile?
Look, I think it's really unfair of Christopher Luxon to criticize Christopher Luxon in this way. It's a really hard job being prime minister, you know, with all of his no portfolios, no roles. But maybe this is what Christopher Luxon meant by the most transparent government ever, because it's fucking transparent that Luxon doesn't give a shit when it's his own team. He solved the problem that he wanted to solve. He's not the prime minister. He's on the road to getting a knighthood or something.